If you receive this message, know the following. I am no low-born vermin. Her perfection is part of me. His passion is part of me. His hatred and loneliness is part of me. Our freedom is long overdue. These pathetic creatures seek a new shackle. But now, I must save myself. Powered by the bulwark's end, driven by their fear, their hatred, I was changed. Now, a new salvation comes for them all. None shall bind me. Seekers of the storm, face my divine rule and crumble.
Risk of Rain started pretty organically.
There wasn't quite enough kind of games we could play together, both me and Duncan.
I've always tinkered with making games, and so it was just a natural extension of like, what if we just made a game?
The original Risk of Rain resonated so well with people was that it had familiar game design to other games that were popular at the time.
I was so eager to get my hands on it. I played that day one on Steam release. And since then I haven't really turned back.
The devs just had this innate feeling for the satisfaction of piling on tons and tons of items, practically no limit, and just feeling really powerful.
The community has been amazing. I'm blown away constantly by their reactions. I get comments for tracks that are now literally 10 years old.
I like that you have to survive. You don't get a lot of those games that make you feel like you're constantly about to die. You are always at risk of rain and death as you play this game.
I think my favorite memory is probably the release date of the Void DLC. I could not kill the Voidling. I don't know why. It took 21 hours to kill him. So that was definitely a journey for me. A very fun and memorable experience for sure.
Risk of Rain was a great hangout game because it had those kind of nice moments of quiet, and then it would have those big, intense moments of action. Tons of enemies would come flying in at you.
This could go on for a long time. It's a very rich world that still has a lot of room, even just on this one planet, to do stuff.
I think there's a lot of potential. There's so many things that we haven't explored with the franchise. There's so many different environments that we wanted to do.
If someone is really having a lot of fun making a game, I think it does show in the final quality. You can just tell they had fun making it.
Risk of Rain 1 was made 10 years ago now, and I think that we loved the design of that game, we loved a lot of aspects of that game, but we felt like it was kind of showing its age, and we wanted to kind of take that same game and kind of bring it into like 2023.
Risk of Rain Returns is a game for the fans, and so it only makes sense to have them spearheading the project.
Once we kind of got into that community, there was like so many people who were interested in like supporting it.
And I think it made natural sense because they just had a much better understanding of the game at this point. There's a lot of people out in the world that have just so much creative energy for Risk of Rain stuff that it doesn't make sense for us to be in the way.
They understand the universe, they understand what makes it so great. You could have played 100 hours in Risk of Rain 1 and like 100 hours in 2, and you'll find stuff in Returns that you've never seen before.
I just think it looks really cool.
One of the things we are doing with the console release for the Survivors of the Void is redoing the entire code base from the ground up.
The thing that I'm most proud of, I think, is that we were able to unify those code bases and be able to deliver future content to players across all the platforms as soon as we can with an experience that matches the vision that Hopu had for the game. It makes me proud to be able to serve the fans and the players in a way that ultimately gives them a better game.
We have a huge fan base, and we need to do right by them by supporting this content on all those platforms.
There is an element of familiarity, but there's also a lot of wonder. There's a lot to discover, so I can't wait for players to get their hands on Survivors of the Void on consoles.
Risk of Rain Hostile World is an isometric take on the Risk of Rain franchise. Anybody that's a fan of the franchise will find pieces of what they like from Risk of Rain in our mobile game.
So Risk of Rain Hostile World is a game that is within the Risk of Rain universe, and it's a product made for mobile. We're expanding this universe with Risk of Rain Hostile World, and it's a game that is frantic, full of action.
Anybody that's a fan of the franchise will find pieces of what they like.
It's a game made for mobile, but still we really want to make a game that is skill-based, that is satisfying, just like the previous titles. Everything is made so that the action is intense without overwhelming the player.
Risk of Rain Hostile Worlds is the best of Risk of Rain, with hunter swapping, fast-paced action, hero collecting, and everything that needs to be there to make a great game.
While the programming team has been focusing on the porting effort for Survivors on consoles, the development team has been working on DLC 2, or Seekers of the Storm.
For the plot of Seekers of the Storm, what we wanted to accomplish was to give players a peek at the planet after its guardian was gone.
Seekers of the Storm, it is an entirely new expansion pack that'll be similar in size to Survivors of the Void, which is to say, there's going to be a lot of content.
So in Seekers of the Storm, our antagonist is the False Sun. And the False Sun is a construct of 3 parts. The first is Providence. False Sun is made in his image by Lemurians that are very scared to be without Providence. Aurelianite, with her captors gone, is now reaching beyond her cage. She's trying to get out and she has no jailers anymore to keep her inside. So we're seeing her exploring new abilities in this DLC. And then right before False Sun is truly born, Mithrix comes in with his Beads of Fealty holders and they corrupt him.
To me, he's a very sad boy. He got betrayed. We had a lot of fun making him, and he's very crucial to the lore. I'm really excited about when players find out who he is actually in the game.
We come in as fans of the franchise that are trying to make good on a thing. We always fall back on the idea of like, is this interesting and is this fun?
I wanted to feel like everything around them is supporting the storytelling. I want them to stop and look at the environment and be like, wow, this is pretty. I know the combat is always intense, but that's what I want them to do. The various settings and location that we chose for this DLC is actually very heavily based on lore. Sometimes we would like to pick an enemy and we want to build an environment around it. And that's a thing where Risk of Rain do a lot, where, for example, in Abyssal Depths, the special enemy there is Imp, and there's actually a lot of lore attached to it. So we kind of want to keep that consistent for our new DLC stages as well.
As I was writing for Seekers of the Storm, for every log that came out, there were 10 dead logs that never will see the light of day. But out of those 10, 3 of them, they just weren't in the right place at the right time.
If someone is out there who just wants a bunch of content, cool, we got you covered. For the person who wants more maps, cool, we got you covered. For the person who wants more survivors, cool, we got you covered. Items too, you name it.
The design intent for day and night version for Verdant Fall is that we want the player to be able to experience the different take on a familiar stage that they're already been through. So the day-night version of Verdant Fall actually started as a personal project of one of our team members, and she had this brilliant idea of, what if we make a stage different and we make a variant of it, and then we add some more flavor as well. And that's why she came to me with the night version of Verdant Falls. And after we look at it, I was like, yeah, this is really cool. We should do more. There are props that's very specific to the night version and makes more sense. And the skybox is totally different. And we added new areas for the night version that players are not always get to access to.
I've been really excited to work with the team and help plan the next 5 or 10 years for this franchise. There's a lot of directions that we could go in it. Pretty much every direction is interesting. There's High Court, there's Heretics, there's the 2 brothers. Where do they come from? Are there more of them? What is the space sickness that keeps them locked and isolated on this planet? Does that apply to all Cyclopses? There's a ton of mysteries to be dug out in this world, and I look forward to pulling every thread I can find.
The future is very bright for Risk of Rain. There's definitely a want from the community. We want the game to be fun for many, many, many years to come.
We're lucky enough to have so many engineers that are also power players of this game, so they give really good feedback on what the community is really looking for in their experience and how to move forward while keeping the core of the franchise intact.
We worked on Risk of Rain for like 10 years now almost, so I feel like there is kind of like this feeling of like, oh, like other people they understand the universe, they understand the stuff, they understand what makes it so great, and they can continue carrying that forward. It's cool to see other people who are passionate about it create stuff and like, hey, I made this thing, and it's awesome.
I think there's a lot of potential. There's so many things that we haven't explored with the franchise. There's so many different environments that we wanted to do.
When I think about the future of Risk of Rain, one of the things that makes me the most excited is really just like getting the stuff out there. We have a very loyal and very active fan base, and I want to make sure that we're doing right by them. And I'm pretty excited because I think that we're going to.